It had been 2 weeks since Professor Ashu had last seen Kenfac. 2 full weeks since that night. The knock at his door, the broken glasses, the reckless invitation that had ended with a slammed door and a heart he refused to name. And then, nothing. No inappropriate assignment papers, no suspicious bump-ins in the university halls, no smirk in the back of his lecture hall. The silence should have brought peace. It didn't. Ashu told himself he preferred it this way, that Kenfac's absence meant order had returned, that the boy had grown bored and shifted his attention to the next shiny thing, that the city's rhythm, its noise, its neon, its endless pulse was enough to occupy his mind. He told himself these things as he did his morning runs, as he drank his bitter tea, as he sat alone grading papers long after midnight. And yet, sometimes without warning, his thoughts would drift to that grin, that voice, those hands steady, grounding, impossible to forget. He would catch himself and shake it off like a curse. Enough. That morning began like any other. He woke before dawn, jogged along the Tech River as mist rose in silver ribbons from the water, returned home, showered, made his usual breakfast of millet bread and tea. He ate mechanically, eyes on the city's skyline flickering beyond the window, amber lights and humming drones tracing their invisible routes. By the time he buttoned his shirt and slung his satchel over his shoulder, his mind was already on the lecture ahead. He stepped into the morning sunlight and locked his door behind him. And then he froze. Parked outside his building was a car unlike any he'd ever seen, sleek, floating a few inches above ground. Its body shimmered between onyx and liquid gold, the kind of machine reserved for people whose names appeared in history books, not attendance rosters. Ashu frowned. Probably some visiting dignitary or one of the upper clan's spoiled children on a city joyride. He turned to walk past. But the door hissed open and out stepped Kenfac. He looked radiant in the daylight, dark skin polished by sun, jacket gleaming with subtle Ankara circuitry, expression calm as a man who had never known rejection in his life. Ashu stopped dead. "Morning, Professor," Kenfac said, his voice smooth, casual, like they'd seen each other yesterday. Ashu blinked, his pulse quickening despite himself. "What are you doing here?" Kenfac tilted his head, eyes bright with amusement. "I came to see you, of course." "You look good this morning, Professor." The compliment landed like a spark. Ashu's face didn't move, but something in his chest tightened. "You disappeared for 2 weeks," he said, "and now you show up at my building?" Kenfac smiled. "Had to give you time to miss me." "I didn't." "Sure." Ashu exhaled sharply, exasperated. "What do you want, Mr. Asufak?" "Lunch." "Eat 7 in the morning." Kenfac shrugged, easy. "Then breakfast, or tea, whatever gets me an hour with you." Ashu turned on his heel. Not happening. He started walking down the street. Behind him, he heard the low hum of the car engine start up. He ignored it. He kept walking, but the car followed. Its quiet glide matched his pace perfectly. He turned left. It turned left. He stopped. So did it. He walked faster. It eased forward. Pedestrians began to glance over. Ashu's irritation snapped. He spun around, eyes blazing. "Enough!" he shouted. "Stop following me, Kenfac!" For a moment, there was silence. Then the tinted window on the passenger side slid down. Ashu froze. It wasn't Kenfac looking back at him. It was a boy, maybe 14, maybe 15, with the same fine-boned face, the same sharp smile, only softer. A younger version of Kenfac, all innocence and mischief, wrapped in a neatly pressed jacket. "Hey, Professor," the boy said brightly. "It's really nice to meet you." Ashu blinked, thrown off balance. "And you are?" "I'm Ona," he said proudly, "Kenfac's little brother." Ashu's stomach sank. Of course you are. Ona grinned wider. I was worried when my brother told me about you, but now I see why he would go for someone like you. Ashu frowned. Excuse me? Ona leaned on the window frame, perfectly at ease. You're quite good looking for an old man. Ashu's mouth fell open. He stared, speechless. Behind the boy, Kenfac's low chuckle drifted from inside the car. Ona continued cheerfully. If my brother wants you, he's going to get you, you know. You might as well save yourself the time and say yes now. He always gets what he wants. Ashu blinked, then turned sharply on his heel. I have to get to work. He walked away fast, his heart pounding with a mixture of disbelief and fury. Behind him, Ona leaned back in the seat, watching the professor disappear down the street. He turned to his brother with a grin. Well, that went great. Kenfac laughed softly, resting his elbow on the door. Thanks for helping, bro. You're welcome, Ona said, puffing his chest in mock pride. I think I really sold it. They both laughed, the easy, unguarded kind that only siblings shared. Kenfac and Ona had always been close, closer than most brothers in their world. Kenfac took him everywhere when he could. Academy events, estate dinners, even council ceremonies when Pameni wasn't looking. He told Ona everything too, the chaos, the scandals, the heartbreaks. But never once had he introduced Ona to one of his lovers. Until now. Ona tilted his head curiously. You've never introduced me to any of your companions, he said. Why this one? Kenfac thought for a moment. His gaze lingered on the direction Ashu had gone. Then he smiled softly. I don't know, he admitted. I think I'm going to marry him. He just doesn't know it yet. Ona burst out laughing. You're crazy. You can't even get the man to go to lunch, and you're already planning a wedding? Kenfac's smile didn't fade. I'll get him. Ona's laughter quieted. His tone turned softer. You know father would kill you if he found out, right? If he found out you were with a man. Kenfac's eyes dropped to his hands. I know. A small silence filled the car. The hum of the city outside replaced words neither wanted to say. Kenfac glanced over at his brother. Be honest with me, Ona. Did you like him? Who? Ona blinked. The professor, Kenfac said. That's why I brought you along. I wanted to make sure you liked him before I decided to keep going. Ona smiled a little, thoughtful. He's okay. Going off first impressions, I mean. But I'd have to get to know the man more. He seems quiet, kind of sad. Kenfac's mouth curved faintly. Yeah, he is. Ona tilted his head. You really like him, don't you? Kenfac didn't answer right away. I think I do. Another silence, softer this time. Ona broke it gently. How did your meeting with the Seku daughter go anyway? The one father set up? Kenfac huffed a quiet laugh. It went fine. She was beautiful, kind, smart. Do you like her? Kenfac shook his head. She deserves someone who wants her, and I. He hesitated, voice low. I don't want to marry her, but it's not really my choice, is it? Ona looked out the window, his young face shadowed with something older than his years. So, what are you going to do? Kenfac leaned back, watching the clouds drift across the morning sky. I don't know, he said finally, but whatever happens, I think the story's already started. The car pulled away from the curb, smooth and silent. And somewhere down the street, Ashu kept walking, his mind still burning with a name he swore he didn't care to remember. Moments later, Kenfac's car rolled to a stop at the far edge of the city, where the towers thinned and the air smelled faintly of rain and red earth. Uncle Jam's mansion rose beyond a grove of silver-leaf trees, their branches shimmering softly under the sun. The house was nothing like the sterile perfection of the Ashufac estates. Where Pamini's world was all sharp edges and polished steel, Uncle Jam's was chaos and color, sunlight pouring through open arches, music humming from unseen speakers, the air rich with the scent of pepper stew, oil paint, and freedom. Ona loved it here. He always said the house felt alive. Kenfac agreed. They walked through the wide doors without knocking. Uncle Jam was sprawled on a woven couch in the living room, bare feet propped on a hovering stool, a silk robe falling loosely from his shoulders. His hair was streaked with silver, his smile wicked as ever. "Well, look who decided to remember I exist," he said, voice rich with humor. "Two little princes of perfection sneaking into the house of exile." "Hi, Uncle," Ona chirped, walking straight to him. "Kenfac has a new crush." Kenfac groaned, "Ona!" But it was too late. Ona was already sitting on the couch next to Uncle Jam, grinning from ear to ear. "He says it's serious," Ona continued gleefully. "And get this, his crush is old like you, but handsome. He's Kenfac's teacher." Uncle Jam said, "Ouch," then burst out laughing, eyes glinting. "An older man, you say? Spirit save us. The Ashufac air has taste. And I'll have you know, I'm only 35. That's not old." Ona rolled his eyes. "Whatever," he muttered. Kenfac pinched the bridge of his nose. "I swear, one day I'll trade you for silence, Ona." Ona ignored him and went on spilling Kenfac's business. Kenfac's been chasing the professor for weeks, but he won't say yes. Jam raised an eyebrow and looked at Kenfac. "Well, now I have to hear this story. What's so special about this one? You crush on men like you breathe." Kenfac hesitated, leaning against the wall. "He's different." "Different how?" Kenfac thought for a moment. "He's difficult. Doesn't care who I am. Turned me down twice." Uncle Jam chuckled. "So that's what this is really about. You finally met someone who doesn't melt when you smile." Kenfac tried to look unimpressed, but his grin betrayed him. "Maybe." "Then buy him something expensive," Uncle Jam said with a dismissive wave. "That trick still works on most people." Kenfac shook his head. "Not him. I tried once already. He doesn't seem the type to be swayed by grand gestures." Ona piped up, mischievous as ever. "Maybe it's because he's older. You can't bribe old people with shiny things." Kenfac turned on him. "Stop calling him that." Jam laughed so hard he nearly spilled his drink. "Ona's right though. Older men play a different game. You can't dazzle them, well, not all of them. You have to move them." Kenfac frowned thoughtfully. "Move them? How?" "Use your heart," Jam said, his voice softening. "If he's really older and wiser, he's already seen every kind of pretty boy in the Dominion, heard every sweet lie, been played a few times, learned his lessons. You need something more. A gesture that means something. Romantic, not flashy. Thoughtful, the kind that sneaks up on him when he's alone." Kenfac nodded slowly, absorbing the words. A seasoned approach. Jam smiled. "Exactly." "I'll try," Kenfac said, and for the first time that day, he sounded sincere. Ona grinned. "Look at you taking advice from the family rebel." Jam pointed at Ona playfully. "Watch it, little one, or I'll tell your father you're here." The room filled with laughter for a moment, warm and easy. Then, like a cloud passing over the sun, the mood shifted. Kenfac glanced at his uncle. "He's been trying to make me marry the Seku girl again." Jam's expression soured instantly. "Of course he has." He leaned back with a sigh. "Pamini hasn't changed since we were boys. My dear big brother, always telling everyone what's right, what's proper, always pretending his rules are love. There was old bitterness in his tone, raw, unresolved, the kind that came from wounds that never healed. "He still forbids you from seeing me, doesn't he?" Uncle Jam asked quietly. Kenfac nodded. "He thinks you'll corrupt us." Uncle Jam laughed bitterly. "I tried, but you were already corrupted." Ona giggled, but the laughter didn't last. The air grew heavy again. Uncle Jam looked at his nephew with affection, and worry mingled in his gaze. "Be careful, Kang. You know what your father's like. He'll destroy anyone who embarrasses him." Kenfac's smile faded. "I know." "Then promise me you'll be discreet," Jam said. "Whatever you're doing with this professor, don't let Pamini find out." Kenfac hesitated, then nodded. "I promise." Uncle Jam reached out and patted his nephew's shoulder. "Good, because I've already lost one life to your father's pride. I'm not losing another." The silence that followed was heavy, threaded with history neither of them could name aloud. Hours later, just as Kenfac and Ona were about to leave, Jam said, his voice gentle, "You'll figure it out, Kenfac. You're an Asufak. You've always done things your own way. Just try not to burn the whole world while you're at it." Kenfac gave a small crooked smile. "No promises." Uncle Jam chuckled and pulled both boys into a quick, rough hug. "You're impossible, both of you. Go on, get out before your father finds out you're here." Both boys nodded and smiled. The Dominion didn't know the truth about Uncle Jam's exile. Officially, the family had called it a disagreement over inheritance, but within the Asufak line, everyone knew. Jam had been banished for loving a man, for refusing to hide it, for choosing truth over the image the clan demanded. His name had been quietly erased from the family registry, his portrait removed from the ancestral hall, his inventions claimed by others. And yet here he was, laughing, vibrant, unbroken, the ghost the family couldn't quite bury. As Kenfac and Ona stepped into the afternoon sun, Kenfac lingered at the doorway for a moment. He looked back at his uncle, this forgotten man who had once defied an empire, and something inside him shifted. He thought of his father's cold voice. He thought of Ashu's quiet eyes. He thought of the price of wanting something forbidden. Then he turned and followed Ona to the waiting car. The door shut softly. The city swallowed the sound. It was Lover's Day in the Dominion. From the moment Ashu woke, the city was humming with it. Red rose drones zipped through the sky in looping patterns, scattering digital petals over the streets below. The air glowed a faint pink, tinted by hollow banners streaming romantic adverts, couples holding hands over virtual rivers, whispered declarations playing on loop. On his way to work, Ashu passed students laughing, arms full of heart-shaped boxes and glowing flowers. Even the lecture halls shimmered faintly with festivity. He'd called his parents that morning, told them he loved them. It felt obligatory, but it was something. By the time he reached campus, the energy was infectious, everyone giddy and distracted. His students whispered through the lecture, planning their evening dates. Even the usually quiet corners of the university buzzed with excitement. And then there was Kenfac, back in class after a long period of absence. Ashu felt the boy's presence before he saw him. Every time he looked up mid-lecture, Kenfac's gaze was already there, steady, unashamed, unreadable. That smile of his wasn't wide or mocking, just there, lazy, knowing, like he'd been waiting for Ashu to notice. It made Ashu self-conscious in ways that irritated him. He caught himself dressing a little better these days. Iron shirts, a touch of cologne, though he'd never admit to himself why. After class, Kenfac lingered behind. He came down to the front of the room just as Ashu was packing up to leave. Ashu's pulse quickened when he looked up and saw Kenfac standing close. "Is there something you need, Mr. Kenfac?" he asked, already wary. A group of students passed by, their chatter echoing off the walls. Kenfac waited until they were out of earshot, then stepped closer than was appropriate, and said, "Just wondering if you have plans for Lover's Day." Ashu stiffened. The faint scent of Kenfac's cologne reached him, warm, heady, expensive, too intoxicating. He took a step back. "Whether I do or don't, it's none of your concern." He gathered his notes quickly and left before Kenfac could say another word. Outside, the courtyard was alive with laughter and gifts. Students kissed under floating rose drones. Ashu slowed, watching them, a quiet ache unfurling in his chest. There was a time when he'd had that too, someone waiting for him on Lover's Day. He remembered the warmth of it, the easy laughter over shared tea, the way a message from that person used to light up his whole day. The simplicity of being chosen. Then he remembered the other messages, the ones not meant for him. The nights that stretched too long without a call. The silence that followed, heavy and final. The ache that had once been soft and human turned cold, practical, hardened. His phone buzzed. A message from his ex. "I'm sorry," it said. Ashu didn't open it. He already knew how it would go. Apologies dressed as explanations. He slid the phone back into his pocket, jaw tight. He didn't notice the scent at first, spiced citrus and sandalwood, until it was close, familiar, disarming. "Following me now," he said without turning. Kenfac's voice came smooth beside him. "Just making sure you're not alone on Lover's Day." Kenfac had followed the professor out of the lecture hall, but lingered a distance away. He stopped beneath the rose-colored light, watching Ashu's silhouette, still, quiet, framed by the hum of laughter and passing couples. There was a heaviness in the man's posture, a kind of quiet sadness that didn't belong in the soft glow of Lover's Day. Even from afar, Kenfac could see it, the way his shoulders drooped, the faraway look in his eyes. Something in that loneliness tugged at Kenfac, sharp and uninvited. Before he knew it, his chest ached and his feet were already moving. If he could make that sadness flicker away for even a second, he would. Ashu scoffed. "And why do you assume I'm alone?" Kenfac perked up, that teasing glint back in his eyes. "So there is someone." Ashu stopped mid-step. "Let me say this again. My personal life is not your business." Kenfac grinned. "You're very secretive, Professor. Do you know that?" "And you're very intrusive," Ashu shot back. "Don't you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend to bother today?" Kenfac shrugged, the smile faltering just slightly. "No." Ashu blinked, surprise flickering across his face. "Hard to believe someone like you doesn't have a date on Lover's Day." "Someone like me, a playboy. You always seem to have someone." Kenfac's grin returned, brighter now, like he'd just been handed proof of something. "Oh, so you know about me? You've been keeping up with the feeds?" Ashu exhaled sharply. "Please, everyone in the Dominion knows about you. Even if I didn't want to, that nonsense is shoved down everyone's throat." Kenfac clutched his chest dramatically. "Ouch, wounded. And here I thought you were secretly invested in my escapades because you've fallen for me." Ashu gave him a flat look. "Don't flatter yourself." The humor faded from Kenfac's face, replaced by something quieter. "You're not wrong, though," he said softly. "People like me never really spend Lover's Day alone. There's always someone willing to play the part. But what use is that when I don't want to be with them?" The shift in tone caught Ashu off guard. The crowd around them buzzed with laughter and drone music, yet for a moment, it felt like the city had gone still. Kenfac's gaze drifted out across the lawn. It's strange. Everyone wants me for what I am, not who I am. They see the name, the power, the bloodline, and when you want something real, someone who sees you, it's lonelier than being alone. Ashu found himself watching Kenfac, really watching him now. The boy's posture was still arrogant, the smirk lingering, but beneath it was something raw. He saw the tiredness behind the confidence, the longing hidden in the glint of those proud eyes. For the first time, Ashu understood that Kenfac's boldness wasn't just entitlement, it was armor. Then, of course, Kenfac ruined it. "But, Professor," he said, stepping closer, that wicked smile returning, "you could fix that. Take me out tonight instead. Let me keep you company. Let me make you smile again. You ease my sadness, I'll ease yours." He moved closer to the professor as he spoke, voice low, carrying that dangerous kind of charm meant to slip under someone's guard. Ashu stepped back sharply. His mouth fell open. "You, Kenfac, stop it. That's completely inappropriate." Kenfac's smile dimmed, confusion flickering beneath the bravado. "Why do you keep turning me down? Do I disgust you? Am I not attractive enough? Do you already have someone?" Ashu sighed, temper slipping through restraint. He stepped forward, closing the distance just enough to make his point. His tone was calm, but edged with authority. "Let me say this clearly enough for you to understand. There's a big age gap between us, Kenfac." Kenfac frowned, stubbornness sparking. So go find someone your own age. Stop wasting your time." "I don't want someone my own age," Kenfac said quietly. His voice lost its teasing lilt. It was just a statement of truth. "I want you." Ashu felt heat crawl up his neck, unwanted and infuriating. "Well, I'm not on the market." Kenfac flinched slightly, like the words had hit deeper than they should. "So there is someone," he said, voice low. Ashu didn't answer. He turned on his heel and walked away, leaving Kenfac standing in the soft glow of Lover's Day, his proud features shadowed by a faint frown and something almost wounded flickering in his eyes. That same evening, the city outside Ashu's apartment glowed red and gold. Lover's Day celebrations were still alive, music drifting from open balconies, drone lights painting hearts in the sky, the hum of laughter spilling into the streets. Ashu had eaten dinner early. He'd planned to watch a film, maybe grade a few essays after. Anything to keep his mind still. Anything to keep from thinking about Kenfac, or from wallowing in his loneliness, or that quiet fear that he might die alone. The doorbell rang. He froze, sighed, then stood and went to answer it. On the doorstep sat a delivery box, sleek, elegant, unmarked. He brought it inside carefully, setting it on the small table by the couch. He didn't need to open it to know who it was from. The wrapping alone, black paper tied with a thin silver cord, had Kenfac's arrogance written all over it. Then his phone buzzed. He didn't look at first. The phone buzzed again, sharp, insistent. An unknown number. No name, no contact photo, just a message preview glowing on the screen. Ashu's stomach sank. He already knew who it was. Of course. Who else would have the audacity? He exhaled through his nose. He didn't even want to know how the boy had gotten his number. At this point, nothing about Kenfac surprised him anymore. He set the phone down again, ignoring the call. Then another buzz. Kenfac had texted, "What are you doing?" Ashu ignored it and poured himself some water, took a sip. Another message came through. "Are you mad at me?" He locked the screen. He wasn't going to feed this. But then one more appeared. "You shouldn't be alone on Lover's Day." Ashu frowned and typed before he could stop himself, telling Kenfac he shouldn't be texting his professor. The reply came instantly. "You didn't say no." Ashu groaned and tossed the phone aside. A few minutes passed, then another message lit up the screen. "Do you like old love songs?" Ashu frowned again, thrown off balance. He replied, asking why. Kenfac answered, "Because I do. The ones with real instruments, before music got cold." Ashu couldn't help it. He typed back that Kenfac didn't seem like the type. Kenfac's reply came quickly. "Then you don't know me very well." Against his better judgment, Ashu smiled. Then another message followed. Kenfac said his mother used to play them, vinyls, scratched and dusty, but she always said real love sounded better with the imperfections. Ashu replied softly, "She sounds wise." Kenfac sent back, "She is. Well, she used to be, back when she wasn't so obsessed with work." There was a pause, soft, unhurried, like the quiet between verses of a song. Ashu leaned back in his chair, thumb hovering over the screen. He didn't know why he was still replying. Maybe because, for the first time in a while, the conversation didn't feel like a minefield. They kept talking about music, about how sound had changed over the years. Kenfac spoke about vintage soul singers, about collecting analog records just to feel their weight. He described the warmth of brass, the ache of live strings, how digital tracks never carried breath the same way. It wasn't empty talk. The boy knew what he was saying, his words precise, reverent. Ashu found himself responding, sharing the few old bands he still listened to when he needed quiet. He even admitted that he still played piano when he couldn't sleep. To his surprise, Kenfac didn't mock him. Instead, the boy said he played too badly, but still. When Ashu doubted him, Kenfac insisted. He'd learned for Ona, his little brother, who once said he wanted to start a band. Ashu could almost picture it, the two brothers laughing, fingers fumbling over strings, wrong notes turning into right ones. It softened something in him. The messages slowed, the rhythm easy now. No flirting, no sharp edges, just words drifting between them like the faint hum of an old song. It was normal, easy even, talking to Kenfac like this. Ashu had forgotten how long it had been since someone actually listened, without wanting anything, without trying to drain him. For the first time, he wasn't speaking to Asofak Kenfac, heir of one of the most powerful clans in the Dominion. He was just talking to a young man who loved music, who loved his brother, who missed something honest, who, beneath all that power and polish, simply wanted to be understood. Then another message came. Kenfac had written, "Open the box." Ashu frowned and texted back that he wouldn't. Kenfac replied, "Come on, I swear it's nothing weird." Ashu answered, "Everything you do is weird." Kenfac's response came with a smile in the words, "Please, just this once, humor me." Ashu sighed. Against every instinct he had, he untied the silver cord and lifted the lid. Inside, dark chocolate truffles and a bottle of fine wine, both shimmering faintly under the light. He texted, "You didn't have to do this." Kenfac answered, "I wanted to. Try one." He hesitated, then he did. The chocolate melted on his tongue, rich, spiced, unfairly perfect. He poured a glass of wine, just a small one, telling himself it was only to test it. He texted, "It's good." Kenfac replied, "Happy Lover's Day." Ashu stared at the screen. He didn't reply. A minute later, one last message appeared. "You know, I'm in bed. Can't sleep." Ashu shut his eyes. "Spirits help me." Then the final one came. "Thinking about you, texting you is distracting. Want to see what I mean?" Ashu dropped the phone face down on the couch, pulse racing, anger, disbelief, and something else he didn't want to name. The phone buzzed again and again. He didn't answer. He ate another chocolate, then another. Drank a little more wine. By the time the messages stopped, the bottle was half empty. The last thing he saw before drifting off was his phone screen still glowing faintly. Kenfac's final words, "Sweet dreams, Professor." Ashu didn't reply. But when he finally fell asleep, he did so with a quiet, traitorous smile on his lips. The next morning, Ashu stirred to the low hum of city drones sweeping through dawn traffic, their rhythm pulsing like a heartbeat through his window. His head felt heavy, his tongue dry and faintly sweet. He sat up slowly, the wine bottle half empty on the table, the box of chocolates gone. He stared at the evidence in silence. "Brilliant," he muttered, "absolutely brilliant." Rose-tinted light filtered through the blinds, catching the glass frames on his nightstand. He reached for them, hesitated, then slid them on. The lenses sharpened the world too much. His phone buzzed. Kenfac's number, saved last night against his better judgment. He ignored it. But the memory of that conversation lingered. The boy's softened tone, the strange warmth, the feeling of being seen. He hadn't realized how much he missed connection that wasn't about duty, data, or intellect. It had been years since anyone had simply talked to him. He leaned back, rubbing a hand over his face. The scent of chocolate still clung faintly to his fingers, which embarrassed him more than anything. He could have blocked the number, reported it. Instead, he'd eaten the gifts and fallen asleep, smiling like a fool. Outside, the city brightened, drones slicing through pink morning light, advertisements flickering to life across the skyline. Lover's Day was over, but its glow still lingered. He should move on too, but something weighted his chest. Maybe guilt. Maybe loneliness, the kind that came when the only person thinking of you was the one you shouldn't think of back. He pressed his palms together, whispering, "You're a grown man. He's much younger. Get a grip." The phone buzzed again. Kenfac had texted, "Good morning, Professor." Another, "Did you sleep well?" Ashu didn't move. His thumb hovered over the screen before setting the phone face down. Then another buzz. "Did you think about me, Professor?" Ashu's jaw tightened. He stood abruptly, pulled on his running clothes, and stepped outside before he could think. The city's dawn hit him hard, clean, cold, metallic. The air smelled of ozone and last night's rain. The streets were mostly empty, the neon reflection still bleeding across the wet pavement. He started to run, slow at first, then faster. His footsteps echoed between the towers, syncing with his pulse. He tried to focus on the day ahead, anything but that boy. But every corner seemed to carry his laughter. Every turn, his voice saying "Professor" like he meant more by it. And he did. He ran harder, breath sharp as if speed could burn the thought away. But it stayed, warm, persistent, unwelcome. And underneath all the irritation and denial, something far more complicated stirred. Curiosity. Warmth. The beginning of a question he didn't dare finish. When he finally slowed, sweat clung to his skin and his breath came in steady bursts. The sky had brightened, the drone lights fading against the pale sun. Ashu wiped his face with the back of his wrist, letting the cool air wash over him. For a moment, the noise inside quieted. Almost. He stood still, hands on his hips, heart still racing. He would see Kenfac again soon. He knew it. And this time, he needed to remember who he was. And everything he stood to lose. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to continue the full story experience, or discover more queer African tales like this one, you can visit my website at untoldqueerafrica.com/start. There, you'll find extended chapters, more series, full episodes, and exclusive stories you won't see here on YouTube. Thanks for being part of this community, and I'll see you in the next episode.